Hey, good morning, everyone. We're taking a live look outside right now. Sunny, but that's not going to last too long. We're kind of experiencing the last, couple hours of some brighter skies before we see those clouds take over. And then we're talking about it. Our potential first snow sighting of the season is definitely expected this afternoon, but not for everyone. We're going to dive right into this a little bit more. So again, welcome into Ask Andrew Live, or I guess in this case, it's Ask Morgan Live. I'm in for Andrew Stutsky this morning. It's happy to be here, happy to be with all of you. And of course, we are on all Facebook, YouTube, and the WQAD 8+ streaming app. So you can get your questions in by emailing us. You can text our number. What is it? 309-304-0888. You know, we say that way too many times. Yes, but, and then of course, Facebook. So I'll be monitoring Facebook and we'll get all of those. Oh, look, Brandy, you're just perfect. Yes, that's our director, Brandy, exactly. So yeah, you can send your questions into 309-304-0888, as well as, again, I will be monitoring the Facebook live chat, so you can come in here, join the conversation, and we'll be answering your questions as we go along. But of course, this is kind of going to be a big major discussion about what we're going to be experiencing here over the next couple of days, really starting to see these first full effects of major fall weather, kind of getting a little bit of an early taste of winter. Of course, we're talking about the potential for our first snowfall for today. I will also say we have work being done right now on the roof, so if you hear banging at times, that is probably why. But yeah, so the system right now is over the border of Canada and the U.S., going to continue to make its track all the way to the Great Lakes region, and that's where it's going to kind of stabilize as we head into later tonight and into tomorrow. But you can see we have snow showers all over the place in the Dakotas. We'll zoom in a little bit more. Dakotas, Minnesota, and it's been pretty consistent there all morning. It's even kind of dipped in a little bit more to Iowa for some spots. Just hasn't made it close enough to the Mississippi River just yet. So we're expecting our chances to come in later on this afternoon, kind of looking towards that 1 p.m. hour that we could see it start to shift in to some of our Iowa hometowns. With that, we're going to see some really gusty winds as well this afternoon. Gusts will be as high as 30 miles per hour. And then by this evening and overnight, we could see gusts get as high as 40 miles per hour. So you can expect a lot of wind through today and tomorrow. And when you're factoring all that in, the wind and the potential for some snow showers, it's going to feel very chilly outside. Those wind chills may only be at best in the mid-30s. Even right now, it might feel even cooler as we go throughout the day, as we do start to kick up those winds a little bit higher into the afternoon, and we also lose the sun. We get those clouds to come in. And yes, again, going to see those chances of some snow showers. So we do have a weather impact alert in effect for this afternoon. Timing window between 1 and 8 p.m. And again, this is factoring in when we could see the best chance for some scattered snow showers, as well as mixing in the factor of those very gusty winds that we are going to see. Reducing visibility is going to be the impact when it comes to these snow showers. We are not expecting much to accumulate at all. It really seems like the ground is still pretty warm, so a lot of this is going to melt upon impact. If we do see anything accumulate, at most it will be just a dusting on your grassy areas. So keep that in mind. But when we're talking about the wind and the snow blowing around, it could reduce visibility. So in turn, when you're out there on the roads, you're driving around, be sure you're reducing your speed and allowing extra time, especially during the Wednesday evening commute. And we have been talking about the potential to maybe get a rare snow squall. What this means is it's a short burst of intense snow. And it also factors in some really gusty winds with these squall lines. It actually has the ability, just like a thunderstorm, to pull some of those upper level winds down, and it kind of increases the intensity of those winds. So you could even get into gusts up to 40 to 45 miles per hour if you do find yourself in one of those short, heavy bursts. So we'll monitor that. But again, that's on the rare side of the situation. Let's look at future track and get you through this afternoon. Once we get to around noon, 1 o'clock, I think that's when we really start to see that coverage take place for our scattered snow showers. And again, mainly hugging along I-80 and to the north. With that, that looks like that's going to be the best opportunity for us to see snow showers. Now tonight, we could see a couple more snow showers, but again, not anything too crazy. It'll just be a couple flurries. But with that, northwest winds are going to really continue to usher in that cold air. With that cold air, those temperatures are going to drop below freezing tonight. So a lot chillier than it was last night. And then we head to Thursday. Now, I know this looks kind of crazy. There's a lot of snow off to our east, and that's definitely going to be something we keep a close eye out on. It looks like we'll have a continued chance for a couple more snow showers, but also rain showers in the mix. I think we're going to see the mix more off and on for Thursday afternoon, and it also is hugging the Mississippi River and on the Illinois side. So again, Iowa, I'm not really concerned about precipitation chances for you tomorrow. I think it's going to be more so on the Illinois side. But we all are going to definitely feel the effects of cold temperatures as well as a lot of wind heading through Thursday. So let's take a look at future track snowfall potential. Again, I'm only showing this because we could see a dusting in some spots. I really don't think we're going to actually get much in terms of accumulation. It is just going to be those grassy areas and those elevated surfaces. But you can also see majority of it is along I-80 and to the north. As we go into Thursday, models continue to bring in a more substantial chance of accumulating snow, but off to our east. So I know Sterling, Princeton is in that blue area, which is showing an inch of accumulation at least. I really don't think that is going to happen. Again, we're really having to remember at this time of year, the ground is still fairly warm. It is not frozen yet. A lot of this does melt upon impact. And with tomorrow, when you're factoring in that we could see the rain, snow kind of back and forth, that also will really impact those amounts. I have something in here that is not supposed to be in here, and I'm not going to show it. But let's get to the 8-day real quick here, and then we'll kind of start to look at some of these questions. 8-day tracker. So yeah, we have a weather impact alert for today. Again, mainly to account for the fact that we could see some snow showers into the afternoon. Thursday, we have also issued another weather impact alert, more so for the concern of those really gusty winds. I know that on Monday we had some really high winds. It did, in fact, cause some power outages, so that's why we're also going to be proactive and issue another weather impact alert for tomorrow afternoon. We'll monitor it closely. We'll bring you updates as we learn them. But after we get through tomorrow, we dry things out. We'll stay dry through the weekend, and we see temperatures get back to the mid-50s actually on Sunday, which in turn could be the warmest day that we see for the next 2 weeks. Even heading into the second week and near Thanksgiving, I actually was just asked about this morning too. Looking ahead towards the Thanksgiving forecast, it looks pretty seasonable, you know, highs in the 40s, but we definitely are going to have to keep a close eye out on a system that could impact the Midwest in the time frame of near Thanksgiving, if not the weekend after Thanksgiving, which I know is also a heavy travel weekend. So that's your early notice that we'll be watching it. Stay updated on the forecast, of course. We'll be tracking it very closely. So let's get, I'm probably going to go all over the place with these questions because I already see a question that we are going to dive into in just a little bit. Brad in Princeton asks, what areas are most likely to see gusts and flurries? I think all of us are going to have to watch out for the winds. Winds are pretty much a definite for everyone for today. Those gusts will get as high as 30 to 35 miles per hour, maybe even getting to 40 miles per hour, especially by the time we get to this evening. That's a guarantee. Almost all of us are going to experience the winds. Almost all of us are going to really feel the impacts of the chillier air as well. Can't stop that. However, when it does come to those snow chances, it does look like if you're along and north of I-80, that's really going to be the target area that we could see those snow showers. So again, right here is where you see all that clutter kind of popping up. The white speckles, that's going to be, again, on and off snow showers. It could be a short, quick burst of snow, which could reduce visibility out there on the roads, and that's why we also have a weather impact alert in place. I have Sandra saying, so no snow? It depends on where you are, Sandra. Because if you're south of I-80 and you're farther or you're more towards Burlington, I think Burlington probably doesn't have much of a chance to see snow for this afternoon. But we'll continue to keep a close eye out on it. Tom in Burlington asked, do we get snow squalls every year? So let's go back to the snow squall graphic. So if people are just now joining and want to know exactly what that is, it's a rare scenario. It's kind of a newer thing that we kind of push out a warning for. It's not a new weather phenomenon, but you'll actually get a warning on your phone, kind of like a severe thunderstorm warning, if you do see a snow squall in place. So it will pop up, your phone will likely go off. And again, it's to convey to travelers that they are going to potentially enter into a period of really intense snow and wind. So that will cause, whiteout potential, and it could really reduce visibilities on the road. I think the last time we got one was a couple years ago, so it's not like a yearly, we expect it every year. The conditions have to be right. Okay, so something else that we're gonna quickly dive into is about bomb cyclones, because that is also something that has been really heavily searched. It is all over social media. It is all over the news. If you're somebody that keeps up with kind of the national weather news, is that the Pacific Northwest is experiencing a bomb cyclone. A bomb cyclone is just a very, very quickly intensified system. That's kind of the basic of what this is. So again, I know this kind of cuts off here, but I could get the wind particles to pick up enough that you can see where that cyclone is. Very, very, very strong. And they can contain extremely, extremely high winds, can bring in a lot of precipitation to areas that it's going to be impacting. So we have snow all across the board. There's even showers, a couple thunderstorms likely impacting both Washington and Oregon right now. And again, this is going to continue to impact them over the next couple of days. Well, we're getting a lot of questions of what is a bomb cyclone? It is a rapid intensification of a mid-latitude cyclone. So kind of what we're experiencing right now here, it's kind of the same scenario. We have a mid-latitude cyclone coming in from Canada, but then off to our coast, there's another one. And again, this one has rapidly intensified. Intensification is represented by a rapid drop in pressure. So in order to classify it as a bomb cyclone, or you might hear the term it's bombed out, you might hear the term bombogenesis, it must drop 24 millibars in 24 hours. And that is extremely, extremely impressive intensification. How do they form? Well, cyclones in general form due to colliding air masses. Again, like we are seeing here locally. Yesterday, we were tracking in highs in the 60s. Today, we're only in the 40s. So you get that big contrast in those temperatures. And that's how you get these systems to form. And it causes a lot of pressure dropping, especially if you get colder and warmer air masses, and they get stronger in terms of how extreme one or the other is. It's just going to continue to intensify the storm system. So they are going to be dealing with that out there, and that's something that we'll probably continue to watch closely too. But of course, we have our own impacts here that we are going to be tracking. Is there anything, or Michelle in Galesburg asks, is there anything people should start doing today to prepare their vehicles or outdoor stairs for winter? Yeah, I definitely think that we should be thinking about kind of winterizing anything that we can, preparing your vehicles, having that emergency winter weather kit in your car is always going to be a good idea to just get it in the car now. Because we know that we're heading into the season. I know myself, I actually just put a faucet cover on our outside hose, so that is all protected. What else? There's so many other things that you can do. Outdoor stairs. Now, when it comes to outdoor stairs, I'm assuming that you're talking about putting down salt. I don't think you're going to need to be putting down any treatments for the system that we're being impacted by today and tomorrow because, again, the ground is still very warm. I'm really not expecting anything to freeze. We keep those temperatures above freezing all day today. Tonight, yeah, it's going to get a bit chilly, but we're not expecting much in terms of snow. And then tomorrow we get back above freezing. And again, we're going to stay that way as we head through the next week. So the ground is not frozen yet. So we're not really expecting anything to actually freeze or stick much to the ground today. If it does, it will only be on those grassy surfaces, and it probably won't last long. It will probably melt pretty quickly. Christian asks about Moline. So we'll get back to, I'm going to find a more localized future track so we can get a closer view at these snow chances for today. And again, crazy that we're talking about the first potential snow of the season, which is actually pretty much on average of where we should be. We'll show that graphic as well in just a second. I'm going to shift this timeline a little earlier so we can get a better view of what is going to be happening. And we'll extend it and talk about where we're expecting some more chances for potential snow and rain for tomorrow. So, okay. Christian, again, is asking about Moline. So here's a little bit of a closer look. Once we get to noon, closer to 1, we're starting to see a couple of those flurries pop up. What could happen is this might come in as a rain-snow mix. It really won't be until 1 that we kind of start to see this cold air overtake, and we kind of start to see this transition completely to some snow showers. Again, Moline definitely has the chance. I definitely think we're going to spot some of our first snowflakes of the year here in the Metro Quad cities. But you can see closer on this future track that most of these snow showers are kind of sticking along the I-80 corridor and off to the north. And that's going to continue into this evening as well. We could see this expand a little bit more south as we get into tonight, but again, I really don't think it is going to be much of an issue more to the south. Heading into Thursday, so you can see a lot of white out towards Chicago, Rockford, even getting as close to Sterling and Princeton. Tomorrow, we're also going to watch for the possibility of some more rain and snow chances. But again, it does look like it's trending just to the east of our hometowns. But most of the rain and snow chances are going to be on the Illinois side of the Mississippi River through tomorrow. Question is, will we see any accumulating snow out of this? I'm going to say probably not. Look at the temperature profiles. Sterling sitting at 36 degrees tomorrow afternoon, again above freezing, and our ground is not frozen yet, so it's likely not going to stick too much. It might be some slush out there, but we'll keep a close eye out on it. And again, trends are continuing to keep it more so trajected to the east of us. I'm more concerned about the winds for tomorrow. Gabe in Clinton is asking, tomorrow's flurry is going to be worse than today. I think that potential is there. What I want to see is a couple more model runs as we head through today so we can really fine tune it. Again, it's really going to depend on where the system ends up parking itself. And it's been trending more so to the east and over the Great Lakes region. And again, this is really only on the Illinois side. And if we're talking about Clinton, I'm really not expecting you to see much at all tomorrow in terms of precipitation. This looks like it's actually going to be a pretty sharp cutoff to where you see precipitation and where you don't. And again, we see a lot of rain beginning to mix in by tomorrow late afternoon and evening. And with that, that really does lower that chance for actually seeing accumulated snow too. So we'll keep a close eye out on it. But in the meantime, it does look like we're going to see some snow flurries, at least for today. And in Clinton, it will happen today. And we see Malix is traveling not advised from Oneida to Orion around 4 p.m. and midnight. I would say traveling is honestly going to be fine today. I don't think you should have to avoid the roads. It's just give yourself that extra time. That's really all you need to do for today. in order to take those precautions, keep yourself safe, keep others safe. So again, here's our weather impact alert. So the afternoon into the evening is going to be the time. And our biggest concern is, again, not really those slick spots on the road, although there could be. It's more so the visibility impacts that we are going to be concerned about, because we're factoring in those really gusty winds. If you get yourself in one of those short bursts of heavy snow, then that can really reduce that visibility outside pretty quickly. And so that's why we're saying pretty much what you need to do today is just make sure you're giving yourself that extra time, especially during the evening commute. I think that's probably where you got a lot more cars on the road, and then of course reducing your speed. So yes. Oh, she said thank you. You're so welcome. All right, Ron in Davenport asks, when does the Quad Cities usually receive its first accumulating snow? I will have to find the accumulating snow graphic, but I can show you the first dusting. We'll call it the first dusting of the year. I think people can understand that more than the first trace of snow. But when we're talking about trace of snow, again, it's kind of that first dusting. We don't really see enough to actually call it a measurable amount, but we saw snow. So the first snow in the Quad Cities, this is looking at the past, what is it? Oh, this is looking all the way back to 2000. So the past 23 years is plotted on this chart. So on average, our first sighting of snow is usually within the middle of November, and we're right on track. So we are basically on average to, as compared to the past 23 years, to see our first snowfall for today. What's crazy is, look how many occurred a lot earlier than later. I think that's actually really interesting, is only one year saw their first trace of snow in December, and that was in 2016. And then here's 2023, which I guess I completely forgot about, but we actually had our first trace of snow at the end of October. I actually believe I was out of town for that, so maybe that's why I don't recall it. Stephen Geneseo asks, do some storm clouds move east to west? That's a good question. So we know that our weather systems move west to east. That's just the general trajectory of the jet stream. That is what drives our systems. So we know usually it's coming in from the west, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now. Well, what's going to happen is, as this system moves across the Great Lakes region and puts itself here, around areas of low pressure, we have counterclockwise movement. So when you see this shift off to the east and we get on the west side of the system, then we can definitely see clouds kind of start to move in that direction. And again, it takes a lot of force, and it's not really that direct east to west movement for the most part. It's more so coming in from the northeast, and then it's starting to shift downwards. But again, what happens tomorrow is it's going to continue to wrap around. And again, we're not really expecting too much by tomorrow afternoon and evening, but you can also see it really hugs the Mississippi River. So we're going to really focus on, we're going to watch for tomorrow. I really want to see a couple more model runs so I can really feel confident on those snow and rain chances. But again, if it continues to shift a little more off to the east, then most of our hometowns aren't going to be in store for much rain or snow for tomorrow. It'll definitely be chilly. I know it will definitely be windy. Those are two guarantees. Jamie says, good morning. I'm a little late coming into the conversation. We are traveling from Galesburg to Chicago. Should we be okay? Yes. If you're just traveling from Galesburg to Chicago today, I really don't anticipate anything to worry about, even tomorrow. Again, this time of the year with these early systems, although it can get pretty slick pretty quick, and a lot of us just have a lot of confidence, and we tend to go a little bit faster than we should whenever these events happen. But I am really not anticipating much in terms of travel impacts. It's just giving yourself that extra time. So if you're going to be traveling for today, again, this is a look at 9:30, and this is kind of what we're expecting for today. I don't think anything's going to accumulate from here or even to Chicago for this afternoon. So you should be good to go. If you're staying the night, the one thing I will say is tomorrow, Chicago, that area for sure could be talking about some snow and could be talking about some accumulating snow. But again, you have to go back to the fact that we have seen temperatures stay fairly warm. Temperatures will likely be around that freezing mark for tomorrow, even around Chicago. And with the ground not totally frozen yet, a lot of this will melt upon impact. So again, I really don't think roads are going to be too bad at all for today and tomorrow. It's just going to be that visibility that might be dicey at times, but I think it's going to be completely manageable out there on the roads. Just again, give yourself that extra time and you should be good to go. Phil in Monmouth asks, any snow this weekend? No, we actually will dry out for the weekend, and it actually is shaping up to be a pretty decent weekend. So we just kind of have to get through today and tomorrow. So again, we have weather impact alerts in place for today and tomorrow. For today, it is the winds and the snow that could reduce visibilities. That's going to be our #1 threat. For tomorrow, I think our focus is going to be a little bit more on those winds, those gusty winds across the area. They could definitely get into the territory of around 40 miles per hour, and that could cause a couple of power outages. So again, that's what's happening for today and tomorrow. It'll still be quite breezy on Friday, but we will dry things out. And then this weekend looking actually pretty nice. We could head back to the 50s by Sunday, which will definitely be a good treat. And I'm also noticing that those winds, which are at the lower end of the graphic, I should say, you can see northwest 19, west 7. So by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday, those winds should also take a break for us too. So this weekend, actually tapping up to be pretty nice. Chad says, good morning, Friday. I'll be heading to Sterling. Will there be anything I need to worry about? Nope, you should be absolutely good to go. Again, by Friday, we should be kind of starting to get out of the system. It'll still be pretty breezy on Friday and pretty gloomy, but I think everything will be just fine for you, Chad. Jamie says, thank you so much for the explanation. I'm from Superior, Wisconsin. Winter weather does not bother me. Thank you so much for all you and Andrew do for all of us. Absolutely, guys. We love answering your questions all the time. I like doing this. It gives us an opportunity to interact, for you guys to be able to ask questions in real time and maybe break down more explanations when it comes to what we're talking about. You know, we only have about 3-4 minutes during our weathers in the morning, and we have to get through a lot in those 3 and 4 minutes. So sometimes we can't really dive into the specifics that we really want to dive into. Nolan in Muscatine asks, will we get any snow by Christmas? That's the golden question every single year for this. I can't believe we're almost a month away from Christmas. That's crazy. Oh my gosh, I just looked at the date. It is November 20th. Let me think about the best way to describe this. So yes, there is a chance that we could get snow by Christmas. That's absolutely a chance. We experience about I think it's a 30 to 40% chance that we will have a white Christmas. That's how it is every single year. We have about a 30 to 40% chance, because that's on average how many white Christmases we've had. Again, it takes a lot of data to figure that out. But again, we have a 30 to 40% chance. So you can sit there and you can say, all right, we've got more than a quarter of a chance to see a white Christmas this year. I know we haven't had one in the past several years, but you know, the question, will we get snow? I don't know, but the potential is absolutely there. I believe that is all of the questions. Make sure I didn't skip over anyone. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Oh, we have one more. We'll squeeze in this one last one. Marco and Silvis asks, will roads be slick or more of a visibility concern today? Again, with this weather impact alert, what I want everyone to understand is that the biggest impact today is going to be the visibility. It's really not going to be the roads being slick, although there could be some spots where they do get slick. I'm more concerned about the visibility impacts for today, because we are going to be factoring in a lot of wind, especially as we head through the afternoon and the evening. But yeah, I will have another update, so you can come join us on Good Morning Quad Cities at 11 of, everything that we've talked about. The update on the snow chances, we'll be able to track it a little bit more in real time. And yeah, thanks for joining me this morning and getting all your questions in. And of course, you can join us every Wednesday here on the News 8 streaming app or Facebook or YouTube when we can. And we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks.
Continue with us and watch free now on the 8 Plus app everywhere you stream.